So we might get started. So I know people will dial in as we go, and there's lots of people who will listen to the recording as well. But we might get started just because I know everyone is busy and, want to make sure that we cover everything and everyone gets a chance to ask questions and all of those good things as well. So welcome to our second virtual event for the Spark 10K Women in Business Grant. I am absolutely so excited to be talking about this. It's been something I've been wanting to do for so long. So absolutely love being here and showing up for you guys. What I'm going to do very quickly now, we went through all of these details on the last event, but just in case people are only dialing into specific events, I'm going to start each one just by quickly covering off the details so that it is in the recording. So I do apologize if you've seen this all before. But to give you the quick overview of the 10K Women in Business Grant. So who and what is Spark? Spark is a platform for women in business who want to grow their profit and impact. So we do this in a bunch of different ways, lots of free stuff. So we have our amazing monthly podcast drop, news. So you can always jump on the website and find tips and tricks to grow your business. And then of course our membership and courses as well. So you'll see on the right here, our Spark membership is my favorite thing. So it's designed to help you grow your profit and impact. So everything like monthly virtual. That was monthly virtual coffees and wines, masterclasses with the world's best experts in sales, marketing, and business. And then we get to work promoting your business as well. So business directory listing, opportunity to be featured in our news site, social media shout outs. Then we have our community, so our exclusive Slack channel. We've negotiated amazing perks and discounts to software services that support your business growth. And of course, now as a member, you get entry into the 10K Women in Business Grant as well, which is super exciting. So this is round one, and the plan is a quarterly grant. So excited about that. Who am I? I am Danielle. I am the CEO and founder here at Spark and the CEO and co-founder at Scrunch. So Scrunch is my the big business, so the social media influencer marketing platform that I have run for over a decade now. Also exited a e-commerce business called The Answer Store. 20 years in sales and marketing. So I'll always spill the champagne. We spill champagne here. We don't spill tea on how you can leverage all of those learnings and insights to grow your own business. So why are we doing this? We are doing this because our mission and purpose is to help women in business grow their profit and impact. And after being in sales and marketing for 20 years, I know you can do a lot on hustle, but also funds really help. So we're reinvesting back into a $10,000 quarterly grant because we do believe that if we want to change, it does start with us. I tell everyone, I was showing up on Spark TV on the podcast talking to these amazing women in business, and I kept regurgitating the same stats that, we're so underfunded, 3% of VC money, blah, blah, blah. And just, in one of the episodes, I said, you know what? I think that if we are going to change, if we're going to solve this problem, it has to be us. It has to be women. And I think at the time I thought I meant women collectively. And then as I was reflecting, I was like, no, this is time. This is really time for us to actually put our money where our mouth is. So the grant was born and is now open. So 3 things we really wanted to do is make eligibility broad, applications easy, and timelines quick. So eligibility, if you are an Australian, New Zealand, or Singapore-based business, you've been in business for 12 months or more, and you identify as female, and you're a Spark member, then that's it. You're in. Fair game, apply. No, it doesn't matter what industry, what service, whatever. You are eligible to apply. And if you're not a Spark member, of course, we've got $100 off annual membership to make sure that you can get in there cheap as well and make that easy. Applications too, super easy, shouldn't take more than 15 to 30 minutes. And that is what the fabulous Cat is here to help us with today. So there are a few business related questions. The first 10, 11 questions are just easy, like name, email, blah, blah, blah. And then it's really just 4 questions that you have to think about. So telling us a bit about your business, who you are, what you do, why you do it, a link to a video entry, which is 2 minutes max and not fancy, just on iPhone, talking about who you are and how 10K would actually create more profit and impact in your business. And of course, what you'll spend the money on as well. Timeline, application and voting period is open for 8 weeks. So closes on the 30th of September. And then the grant will be awarded and funded 2 weeks from that. So we had a lot of feedback from people who had applied for grants in the past, and they were like, 5 months went past and then I didn't get it. And, they're kind of wishing and hoping this whole time. So the idea as well that these will be short and sharp and awarded and funded very quickly. So that is it from me. If you do have any questions, my virtual diary is always open. So please email me or book a time with me. I think my calendar link is on the website. But today I'm so excited. The fabulous Cat Matson has very, very graciously volunteered to help us all put our best foot forward when it comes to applying for the grant. Now, Cat is absolutely incredible. I've known Cat for, I don't even know, since I didn't have gray hairs. So over a decade when I first started my business journey. And she has done some absolutely incredible things, one of which being the Chief Digital Officer for Brisbane, and actually involved with creating, managing, overseeing the Lord Mayor's grant program, plus a whole lot of other grant programs. So this is the woman who knows what she's talking about. She has read too many applications to mention, and is here to spill the champagne on how to put your best foot forward. So thank you so much for being here, Kat. We really appreciate it. And I will stop sharing my screen and hand over to you.
Unmute. You would think that by now we've got that under control, but we don't, do we? We don't. We just get so wrapped up in our thing. Thank you, Danielle, and congratulations on creating this program. I think, well, one, there's the congratulations on hearing yourself say the same thing and then saying, oh, it's me. It's me. If it's to, if it's to be, it's up to me. And I really admire, I have always admired that about you, Danielle, where you decide that something needs to change and you go, okay, change, I will. As Danielle said, I have had too much experience reading, judging and assessing grant applications, award applications, and in particular, watching the difference between how men rock up for these things and how women rock up for these things. So I wanted to take some time to say, hey, this is how you can really stand out without selling your soul, by still being you, by not leaning on the tragedy story or the woe is me story or needing a hero's journey or anything like that. You can just show up and be you. Before I get into that, what I also wanted to explain too is, as Danielle mentioned, I was CDO for Brisbane. I've also spent a couple of years in economic and community development for Ipswich City Council, where I was also assessing things. But prior to that, I've always been in small business. And in fact, I'm now back running my own small business called Impactful Presenters, where I teach business owners and community leaders how to speak with authority, authenticity, with confidence and with impact. So what I'm sharing today comes from both of those contexts. It's how do you show up and what stands out when it comes to grant applications. So the first thing that I suspect people might be nervous about with this particular application process is the 2-minute video. So just put your hand up. Who gets a little bit nervous when it comes to speaking and public speaking and, creating a video? Yeah. Who gets a bit nervous when it comes to bragging about themselves? Yeah. Stacey. Yeah. And yet that's exactly what we're asking you to do. That is exactly what we're asking you to do. In order to show up, in order to get the votes, in order to make your pitch, we're asking you to do a video and we're asking you to brag. And that can be really, really uncomfortable. I also just want to check, who wants $10,000 for their business? Free money? No interest? Yeah, bam. Yeah. And so it's worthy, right? That feeling uncomfortable, it's for a worthy cause. The other thing that I wanted to point out that is masterful in this program is that because it is a public and community vote, just putting yourself out there and putting your video up in the voting platform means that you are promoting you and your business to a wide community. So it's not just about pitching you and why you should get the grant, but it's also about pitching you and your business to potential customers. So you want to have all of that kind of in the back of your mind as you're going, okay, this is why I want the grant and this is what I'm pitching for. What I want to do is just walk you through some general thinking, some general framework, some general tips that will help not just with the 2-minute pitch, but also with the actual application question that says, tell us a little bit about your business and what you would do with the 10K. And then at the end, I'm happy to answer any and all questions that comes to speaking, preparing good quality video without investing in all of the tech, as well as what makes you stand out in grants. So is that all cool with everyone? Yeah, sweet. First thing, begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. Stephen Covey in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that was the second habit. His first habit is be proactive, which you all are because you're here. The second habit is to begin with the end in mind. So be clear on what is the end outcome that you want from this video pitch, from this application. And I don't mean just, I want the 10K. I mean, what do you want the viewer, what do you want the listener to think, to feel, to know, to believe about you and your business as a result of watching your 2 minutes? In the first instance, I would invite you not to consider that from the perspective of how do you compare yourself to everybody else. I would just be owning your own space and literally sitting there. What do I want the viewer? What do I want the listener to know, to think, to feel, to believe about me? Once you're clear on that, you can then ask yourself, well, what do they currently know about me? Chances are they know nothing. They know next to nothing. So then the nearest thing is, well, what do they know about my space? What do they know about my industry? What do they know about the impact that I'm trying to make? What do they know about the problem that I'm trying to solve? And when you have that beginning point and that end point, you then have a sense of what gap might you need to bridge in order to demonstrate what 10K would make to your business. Because every single person who puts in an application is going to be worthy. Every single person is going to have a really good story. But what you need to do is demonstrate, 1, that you're legitimate, but 2, that you're willing to back yourself, that you're really working on a something and that this 10K will make a difference. The other thing that you want to do is be genuinely authentic. So I'm going to say this in a few different ways. In the first instance, what it's going to require is that you actually sit hand on heart and reconnect with your business and reconnect with your business vision. Sometimes it's really easy to lose sight of that because we get caught up in the hustle and we get caught up in the doing this and we get caught up in the chasing of the invoices and we get caught up in the cash flow and we get caught up in chasing $10,000 grants because they'd make a huge difference to us. And so we start then projecting, what do I need the business to look like or to sound like or to be perceived as in order to get that? But really what's going to connect with an audience like this is heartfelt connection. So in the first instance, come back to, why are you in business? What is the impact that this business is trying to achieve in the world? What impact is this business trying to achieve on its customers And what impact is this business trying to achieve for you, the business owner? Why are you doing it? Then once you're clear on that heart piece, you then want to be settling into, well, who are you in that business? One of the things that happens when we talk in public arenas and when we put a video camera in front of us where we actually can't see the people that we're talking to is we put on this weird, I don't know, professional speaking persona voice where we either come on in as the very professional radio announcer voice, or we get really quick and high pitched and start talking, like it's just weird. It's weird. Danielle goes into presenter mode. And don't get me wrong, we all have our anchors to get started. But we want to hear you. And the person who will receive this grant, the person who will stand out and win the popular vote, I will bet my bottom dollar right here, right now, it will not be the slickest presentation. It will not be the smooth, flawless, perfectly executed. It won't have some great big noble global impact. It will be someone who's just real. It will be someone who just connects. So just really connect in with that authentic voice. You're not pitching to VCs. You're not pitching to men in suits. Thank goodness. You're not pitching to government people who have a political overlay. Thank goodness. You are literally pitching to fabulous women, and the people who will win, the people who will upvote will be the ones who can connect. The other thing that I wanted to call out in terms of that authenticity piece is sometimes we feel like we need to be bigger or better than we already are. So, we step into this uppity business professional person. I've been doing this for, meanwhile, we're sitting there going, fuck, I hope nobody finds out. Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn, but that's me being authentic. You're sitting there going, God, I hope nobody actually does the digging, but they will do the digging. You want them to do the digging because you want them to investigate your business. You want to do business with them. So if your LinkedIn profile is 2 years long and you're now trying to paint a different picture, then you've got to understand there's going to be a disconnect. So be real. Don't try to be something that you're not. If your business is 12 months and 1 day old, say that. This is a brand new business. I only just squeeze into the eligibility. I'm really excited that I just squeeze into the eligibility, but this is fresh. The other two, and they kind of sit close and side by side, is my recommendation, and this is a personal opinion. Don't feel that you need to go into the tragedy story. I've seen way too many, watching Danielle, seen way too many business award programs in particular go for the heart jerker, tragedy to triumph story. Yeah, that's not this program. Get it if other people want to do that, but that's not what this program's about. And likewise, whilst this program is around profit and impact, I don't believe Danielle is here around big, massive, noble causes of saving whales or eradicating hunger or any of that stuff. This is around supporting women-led businesses that are making their impact in their way, in their communities. So again, own that. Authenticity is going to win all the way.
It's a really good point. I'll butt in because somebody actually asked that question on Monday's sort of Ask Me Anything call. They said, what does impact actually mean? What does it mean to us here at Spark? And you are spot on, Kat. It is not saving the world, and I know there are people out there saving the world, and that is absolutely fantastic. But we have the opportunity here to make an impact, you're right, on our local communities. And this is why I love this grant as well. And the broadness of it is because it all matters. If you are helping somebody look then feel their best so they can land that job interview, that is impact. You are impacting somebody's life. If you are, what doesn't matter what you're doing, you are impacting one person or your community. And that is what we deem as impact. It definitely doesn't have to be a US sustainability goal. It's just, how are you impacting that one person or that community? So I'm really glad that you brought that up.
Yeah. And it can be, and it will be tempting for people to try to go all over the top in that regard with this award, with this grant program. But the Spark community won't tolerate that. Like the established community won't buy in. So yeah, be authentic, be real. So with that piece in mind, you've started with the end in mind. You've clarified what you want your viewer to think, to feel, to do, to act differently. What do they want to, what do you want them to believe about you and about your business? You then come back to what they currently know about you or your problem or your area. Your trick then in 2 minutes is to land no more than 3 key messages to bridge that gap. 3. That's 3. It's not 5. It's not 10. It's 3. I'll tell you why it's 3. And this is a legitimate speaking skill, and a communication skill, not just for this grant and not just for 2 minutes. We already have too many chunks of information coming at us. So if you try to squeeze in 10 bullet points into your 2-minute presentation, all you've done is you've overwhelmed the listener with too much detail. They can't absorb it. They then can't remember it. And if they've watched 100 other videos and then they're just coming back, they're going, oh yeah, I remember her face, but there was too many things in there. Whereas if it's 3, they can remember it. They can actually go, oh yeah, that's Stacey. She's about this. She's about that. She was about something else, but I can't remember, but she's about the, like, there's a really clear landing to that. There's also strength in the number 3 in that it's a tripod. There is more strength in 3 than there is in 2. So just go with the magic. You want 3. Less is more. Just because you've got a 2-minute limit doesn't mean you need to use it all up. If you can say what you need to say in 1 minute, then do it. Seriously, do it. Because again, as people are going through these videos, it will be the people who they go, oh, okay, I get what Lindy's about. Got it. Move on. Got it. Move on. Got it. Move on. But if they're having to really wait for the end, for the punchline, for the conclusion, then you're going to kind of run out of people's patience. With that in mind too, manage your pacing. So the temptation will be to talk too fast because you're trying to squeeze too much in. Seriously, you want to be maintaining normal, if not slightly slower than normal conversational pace. So if you need to say less than what you would normally say to fit it into 3 minutes, there's 2 minutes, 3 messages, 2 minutes, then do that. Just take something out. And given that we're talking about 3 key messages and the ultimate call to action at the end is that you want people's vote, what I recommend that you do is you start off by introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Cat. My business is Impactful Presenters, and I work with business owners to support them to speak with confidence, with clarity, with authenticity and impact so they can make their dent in the universe. I would then give my 3 key messages, and then I would close by repeating who I am again, the impact that I'm trying to make, and what the 10K would do for me. I'd love your vote, because with your 10K invested in Facebook ads, I can reach 200 people in my next program. That's 200 people who are empowered, whatever the case may be. Well, that's awesome lighting, Karen. Got that light right in your eyes, don't you?
I've got the afternoon light in my window. Sorry, I'm sorry. I've had my video on. I've got a child about to roll into the home from school, so I didn't want too much case. But yeah, I have got a lot of light. I can hardly see you.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be lovely to sit there and read a book, but it's awkward from a seeing perspective.
So do you mind me quickly asking on this? You said this is a voting platform. Is that voting within the Spark enclosed member community, or is this talking about some sort of polling online platform? Like, how does it work? Because I have worked with City of Sydney and the state government for various different grants and funding. So I'm just sort of wondering, is this grant specifically from Spark, or is it sort of in partnership with a government agency, or how does, like, just trying to find out a little bit more?
Yeah, totally. No, so it's Spark exclusive. It's run and administered by Spark. So essentially what will happen is on the 1st of September, every person who has applied for the Spark grant, they will have a landing page and you'll get that link sent to you so that if you'd like to share it with your communities to vote for you, you are more than welcome to. And then a message will be sent out to the Spark community to say, hey, jump in and vote, but it can extend publicly as well. So if you did share that out with your community to vote, they are very welcome to do that as well. But it doesn't go through a government or polling or voting system. It's just whoever happens to hear that they have the opportunity to vote for a woman in business to receive the grant.
And is this a first time program? Like, has this been done before?
This is round one. So
it's a first ever time.
This first ever for Spark, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry just to disrupt. So I've got to race off at 3:30. But yeah, sorry, I'm Karen from Franklin Women. I'm quite new, but Franklin Women's is a social enterprise supporting women in medical health and sciences. So we do mentorship programs and advocacy for women in the sector.
Fantastic. So a very worthy cause to apply.
It's a new area, but no, it sounds very exciting. And sorry, can I quickly ask, so is it required to be a member or not?
Yeah, that's right. So, and I'll send you over the replay because I've got all of the eligibility and application process at the start of the session. But essentially, you do need to be a Spark member. So we have created a $100 discount code so you can get full 12-month annual membership for $265. So that means you're eligible to apply for this round, but we will have 3 to 4 rounds in 2024 as well.
Right. Okay. No, that's great. No, that's been very helpful. Thank you so much.
Amazing. And I do appreciate you asking that question because I know that the voting process will be on people's minds as well. So thank you.
And just sorry, sorry.
Okay. Is it just one person, one business get it, or is actually quite a few?
So this round, there will be one business only.
I see.
I'm sorry, I was just going to ask my last question. How large is the community at Spark? Like when you talk about like the polling, like what sort of size member community is that?
So at the moment within Spark, there are 300 members. So those people are the ones that immediately, but we do have a database. So they're paid members, so they get access to all of our goodies. But we do have a database. So email, social media, we're running ads. So all of those people will say in our extended community, they will also be given the chance to vote as well.
Okay, that's
but in terms of who you're competing with from an application point of view, only Spark paid members can apply.
Okay, that's great. I'm so sorry to just your fantastic presentation, Kat. Thank you.
No problems at all, Karen. No problems at all. Yeah. And I think I want to pick up on this notion of how many people you could be potentially competing with in terms of your application. Most people would have just heard what Danielle said and went, okay, there's at least 300 other people who are going to put their hands up. No. Statistics will tell me that it'll be somewhere between 5 and 10% of people who will actually put their hand up. Yeah, I know. Stacey's like, what now? And there'll be a whole lot of reasons for that. One will be because, oh no, there's no way I can compete with all of the other amazing women in this community. Oh no, my idea is not good enough. Oh no, my impact's not worthy enough. Oh no, there's other people.
I don't want to do a video.
I don't want to do a video. That's right. There will be all of the reasons why people don't submit an application. Which is all the more reason why you should, because, oh my goodness, this is $10,000 free money. Like when Danielle posted on LinkedIn a few weeks ago saying, what do you need to know if I was to run a grant program, and I'm messaging back. And when she told me what she was doing, I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So you want to put your hand up for this, again, because you've got a really good chance of getting the money, but 2, because you've got an extraordinary chance to promote your business to a community. So if you've got any of that stuff, not good enough, not worthy enough, there's other people more worthy, there's other causes more, this is not cause marketing. This is not cause business. The cause is you being a woman business owner. End. end. That's it. So yeah, put something in. So as to Stacey's concern, I don't want to do a video. A 2-minute video, that's a worthwhile investment for $10,000 and for some free marketing. And this
That
is
would be
probably
like
where,
how much you would get paid for like a 60-minute keynote.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, and that's if you're at the top of your game. you know,
yeah.
I
Like
think
that's a pretty good worthwhile to have a glass of champers and just get it done.
Exactly.
that's exactly right. That is exactly right. And we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for authenticity. We're looking for a conversation about your business. So you've begun with the end in mind. You've come back and you're asked yourself, no worries at all, Karen, thank you. You've come back to what they currently know about your space. You've identified the 3 key messages and only the 3 key messages that you need to take them through to bridge the gap. You then want to be really, and if I was to then structure my presentation for impact, you'd be really clear on your beginning, and that's your introduction, that's your name, your business, and what your business does. Your middle part would be your 3 key messages. What this grant would do for me is, what that would enable me to do is, what that would then mean is this, like it's actually really quite simple and you don't need to complicate it. And then your close is a recap of those 3 messages, a request to vote for you with your name. It's another opportunity to say your name, to say your business.
Dale Carnegie is big on making sure you slow down when you say your name. And for mine, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's Stacey Macmillan White.
Yeah.
And I find myself at networking having to remind myself to do that as well.
And all the more reason to do it.
Mm.
I'd love your vote. So as you head off this page and onto the next one, my name is Stacey Macmillan White. That's Stacey Macmillan White from I'd love your vote so I can do X.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was something else. No, that was it on the powerful close. Now, on lighting and sound. Danielle's already been really clear that this is not a professional required video. This is not a professionally required video. 3 out of the 4 of you on this call right now are on video. So you have sufficient video. You have sufficient video. You could record it on your phone. My tip would be record it in natural light. If you can, go outside somewhere in the shade, be facing towards the sun, but not so much that you've got the sun coming in your eyes, so you're squinting, but you want some natural light just because it is actually most flattering. You'll be sitting there going, oh my goodness, no, because when I'm in natural light, then you see all my wrinkles. Yeah, again, authenticity, all right? So just my tip would be make sure that your sound quality is decent. So have your headphones plugged in on and your microphone nice and close, only because when people are watching lots of videos, if your sound quality is hard, if you're hard to listen to, or if you're uncomfortable to listen to, people will tune out. It'll just be a natural thing that they go, I like what she's about, but I don't like listening. So that would be my focus. But you do not need to buy a microphone. Just use the headset that came with your phone, or borrow a headset, or just do something. And if you've got a podcast mic, then by all means use it. But it's unnecessary. Stacey's laughing again.
I'm laughing because the 5-year-old is arguing with her dad.
Yep.
Realized I didn't put myself back on mute, and I'm like, yeah, Friday afternoons.
I love Friday afternoon. But the cat just meowed at my son, who's just walked in the door as well, which is hilarious.
Well, one thing, Kat, I noticed is most of the awards application now all start to take the video, ask for submitting the video. Because recently I have just done the Telstra Business Awards, and all of them now changed to like video submission. And this must be a trend. People want to see you, want to meet you, and then before they make an assessment.
Well, and why do you think that is, Lindy?
Well, I think, people want to have a taste of you. They want to see how you really come up with the answer, how you, if you just written, sometimes the words, people cannot see you behind the character. But when you actually communicate via video, people see you as the authenticity, as you can't really hide. You can't really just avoid with the written language anymore.
Exactly. And I think one of the things that can happen now too, particularly with Chat GPT and whatnot, it's really easy to outsource your award submission to a PR agency or to Chat GPT or something like that. And so you get this really lovely glossy blah, blah, but the video then shows something else. So the video is actually the best way for people to get a sense of you. Now, the key thing that I will say that will be different between the Spark 10K Women in Business Grant Program and the Telstra program is Telstra will also be looking for what I would call PR worthiness. How are you going to show up on the news? How are you going to show up in press? Are you going to look good on stage? But that's not going to be true here. This is about Danielle and the Spark community supporting women in business to make a bigger impact in their business. So it doesn't need to be anywhere near as polished or as professional or PR worthy as you might want a Telstra submission to be, or any of the other big brand ones. The government programs that Karen referred to before, they're often looking for a similar thing. How is this going to present a risk to us? Does this person look suitably worthy? So yeah.
I think, for me, it's quite interesting just to understand the Spark community more, because within my tech startup, we are Friesen, my actually is actually called a Friesen. So we are a startup, and we actually won a lot of awards, and also we raised the money. But what
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We are in the second round of fundraising. We want to raise $2 million. And so far we raised 1.2. So
well done.
Yes, thank you. We
That's
also
it's a hard process. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, what really intrigues me is, what you do within this community. And we will have in Friesen have a lot of small business owners, such as Lady, because it's e-commerce platform. And we enable empower the importers to buy directly from China. And
cool.
Yeah, so I just thought, if we won the Spark like a grant, and that will empower all the women in our community, it's quite highly aligned together and within this community. So that's what make me very, very interested to get to know, like, even Daniel more, get to know Kate more. I think I met Kate in a couple of times in your
I feel like we have met, Lindy.
Yeah.
Danielle, do you want to talk a little bit more about who's in Spark?
Yeah, and it's so interesting, right? Even everything you just said sounds like you've already got your video application ready to go. Like, the words you're saying there, that is the impact that you want to have. So that's super exciting. But the reason I love the Spark community is because we have all sorts. So I know personally, as being a tech founder in my other life, oftentimes I was restricted as to what communities or grants or opportunities I could kind of become a part of. So the biggest thing for me in Spark was that breadth. So there's never been any restrictions on business type, industry type, or product or service type. So making sure that we really just support women to make the impact that they want to make in the world. So we have everyone from e-commerce businesses, tech startups, people in the medical space, people in the not-for-profit space, people in the services industries. We have a cleaner, we have everyone. So I absolutely love them because they're all aligned to lifting each other up. And, there are multiple women in business communities around now, which is absolutely incredible. 10 years ago when I started business, there was not, especially in Brisbane as well. And now it is actually flourishing, which I absolutely love. And I guess the way we're different at Spark is we have a vested interest in growth. So my personal background is I've been in sales and marketing for over 20 years. So in corporate and then into my own businesses and in different verticals as well. And so I know what I can do as this business owner, as a Spark business owner, is teach people how to grow. And for me, that's twofold. I'm always a big proponent of profit because that's what'll keep you going, and impact because that's how we all collectively do, make this a better world. So everything that you see inside of Spark is always to do with that. So we have, daily videos around sales and marketing tips, that you can implement in minutes to grow. So we're not into like huge war and peace. It's like, how can we give you really actionable things that you can do, but also how do we get you in front of the rest of the community as well through our news, through our social media. And I love that Cat mentioned that as well, because that is the consolation prize of not winning the grant, is you do get your name in lights up to other amazing women in business, and not just our closed community. We elevate you to our email databases, our social media outlets. So it is our job to help you grow your profit and impact. So that is, what we do every day of the week here at Spark.
Well, I think not only I want to win the grant, but also I want to win a piece of you.
Anytime.
Yeah.
And I think,
and also, a piece of Cat, because as a person, we are tech startup. We just completed MVP, and we have a vision to actually go worldwide. And I'm an experienced business owner, but as a tech startup founder, this is first time. And so how to grow from 0 to 1 and from 1 to 100. It's something now I am actually feel very, how do I say, uncertain, and also a little bit scared. And also, just, the type of, I don't know how to describe that type of like uneasiness. One thing is,
I don't know if that ever goes away.
ever.
One thing,
you just get used to living with it.
Yeah, you just get used to that pit in your stomach. No.
yeah. One thing, everyone, I have a lot of supporter. I have a great investor. We raised the first round 800K. We are now in the second round. And so I have a lot of confidence, but also, to bring a startup from somewhere, it's going to give in the burst, the MVP just ready. And then now to commercialization, from 0 to 1, from 1 to 100. It's something like really crunching me. One day I'm super confident. Like, we signed a $79 million contract. We are heading this way. 1 minute I'm thinking, I don't know, is that platform good enough? And
welcome to the human condition. Well, welcome to the human condition, and welcome to business ownership. Can't relate with that any stronger.
Yes.
I'm aware of time, so I just wanted to wrap up kind of my piece around speaking, and then open up for other questions around the speaking piece. And Lindy, I totally get where you're coming from. I really do. In terms then of kind of wrapping out the speaking part, everything that I just said around beginning with the end in mind, asking yourself where your listener is now, bridging the gap with 3 key messages, that all then informs the written part of your application as well. My tip would be, don't try to engineer, don't try to manufacture. You want the 10K, you already know what you want it for. You know what you want it for, and you know what your business is about. Own it. Amplify it, state it, and ask for it. That authenticity will be what connects with the listeners and the watchers and the voters. As soon as you start to over-engineer or make it sound better than it is, or think that you need to do all of these other things, is where it'll all start to get lost. So just quite literally be you. I honestly think that's the last thing that I wanted to say. I'm about to I'll put the link to my website in the chat, where you can access my little ebook called How to Stop Rambling, but that will also give you access to 99 podcast episodes, 100 drops next week. But in those podcast episodes, you can just scroll the back catalogue and find all sorts of different things around how to speak to video, how to do your Earn the Right, how to do an introduction, how to calm your nerves. So there'll be a whole lot of other stuff in there that will help you with this application. There was something that I just said there, how to speak to video. That was my last thing. When you're recording your video, talk through the camera. Don't look at yourself on the screen. Talk through the camera. Now on my phone, on my gorgeous little Oppo, the camera is actually in the top left-hand corner, which means I do need to look at the top left corner of my phone when I'm recording to my phone. The reason we do that is when you're looking through the camera when you're looking through your camera, whichever one, it feels like to your audience, you're making eye contact. So you will connect better. The other thing, and this is a tip from Play School, believe it or not, Play School presenters have to connect with toddlers, right? They are engaging with toddlers that they can't see. And a tip that they gave, I remember this years ago, was they said, we imagine the kid, an individual kid, not plural, an individual kid sitting on the other side of the camera, and we are engaging with her. We are talking to her. So that would be my other thing. Talk to one person through your camera and engage with a real person. That person can be whoever you want them to be, but you will want to engage with a real person, not just this invisible, anonymous crowd. Stacey, you got your hand up.
Yes, thank you. I had a question about the content between the application and the video. So, for example, one of the things that I would like to put the money towards is actually building my database of social enterprises and charities in there, because that's actually then going to be possible leads for business. But sales is such an ugly thing that people don't necessarily want to vote. No, well, that's what I mean of like, I know, and I need to get my head around that as well. But I just wouldn't be sure how to put that in a video of like, I need the grant so that I can create a list so that I can sell.
Yeah. So, well, it's about who you're selling to, right? So understanding your business, when you sell to somebody, it's not just you making money. It's actually you are supporting that charity, that not-for-profit, that cause to be connected with other people, to be championed. So that is the impact you're having. So when you say, I need to use these funds to find those people and connect with them and bring them into our platform so that we can get them out into the world and have them actually be empowered to have a bigger impact. So rather than saying, I'm just selling, you're actually, you know, it's more about connection, about connecting them with your platform, and then you being able to champion them and build them up.
Yeah. And because I know, of course, that like when I start making money, that means that I can start actually achieving my social mission. So once I start making money, that means I can employ someone in that position. So my question is more so, do I focus on that part of it and sort of like not skip over the sales element, but be more like, if I could get this, I could do this.
Totally, because and that's how growth, profit, and impact connect, because the more you grow, the more you have the funds available to make a bigger impact. And so, you know, there's this wonderful, you may know her, Elaine Stead. She's a venture capitalist from Brisbane. And she's once, when we were first starting Spark, she said to me, you know, profit and impact shouldn't be mutually exclusive. You know, making money is not a bad thing because it actually helps you achieve your mission and create a bigger impact. So I wouldn't shy away from that.
I'm actually going to take that one step further. And I see, Christine, that you wanted to add something to this, but I actually think that sales is the highest form of service.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you were about to say?
So when I did this scrunch course with Danielle a little while ago, it was because my first real proper sales stuff started in car dealerships, and so it's when I was like 21.
So you're tainted. Yeah.
You're
I'm
tainted.
tainted, yeah. And so I don't want to be this dodgy car salesperson. And I have to break through the mindset of that, yes. And so I tend to focus for myself of like, well, if I can sell, then I can employ an at-risk youth. And that's what I mean of like, can that be part of the video? Because that's actually what my focus is.
And
Christine.
take the word sell out. Don't use it. Say, I'm, you know, if I serve these people, you know, it's service. Sales and service, that's what it is. It makes a difference. And without them buying, just don't use the word sell at all. You don't need to anymore, honestly.
Yeah.
And I did want to ask one thing. I'm very interested
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lindy's business, but then I got the impression that she hadn't even launched yet. She said she was still putting together an MVP, and I noticed, I mean, we haven't launched yet. You know, I'm not here to apply for the grant yet. You know, I'm really interested in joining the group because I'm already a member of One Roof and Lift Women, and I'm from Brisbane. God,
All the Brisbaneites.
I'm from Brisbane too.
Yeah.
We're all from Brisbane.
my last restaurant I had 10 successful restaurants in Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast, and my last restaurant was Possum's Australian Food in New Farm, and I had I had the Tiger Garden restaurant in the Singapore Pavilion at Expo 88, and every time you opened up the newspaper, there I was, because I used to run the journalist club. So every time they had spare space in the Courier Mail, they'd ring me up and say, Chrissy, you know, you got a story. Oh, have I got a story?
You need to write a book, because I feel like you've got a lot of good stories based on today.
I've written the first one. If you look at Just the Sizzle, which is my interviewing chefs and business interviews website, my book's there. It's the first volume though.
So good.
Yeah.
But to your
Danielle-
point, I was just going to say, to your point, the 12-month eligibility criteria, it's from business registration date. So if you've been registered for 12 months, but you haven't quite sold to someone, if you've been building, which is a lot of, so tech startups will run into this, you're eligible. You've been in business for 12 months, and different businesses look differently, right? So sometimes as a service-based business, you hit go, you register the business, and you are out selling tomorrow because you can implement tomorrow. But there are other businesses. So Scrunch, my other business, we built software for 12 months in the early days. So 10K for us would have accelerated that and, you know, made a huge impact. So if your business registration date is from that 12 months, then you're absolutely eligible.
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, because we're pivoting as well in the build-up phase, you know, because of AI, like for us. You know, yeah, it's changed the game, and we're just going to hit it out of the blocks, you know. Seriously.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
So excited.
For Christine.
Yes, Lindy.
Yes, I just checked my phone. You are in my contacts.
This
So
is
I text
Brisbane.
you.
Small world.
I was going to
It
say,
is,
share your
it
LinkedIn
is.
profiles. Share your LinkedIn profiles and go do your thing.
Yeah.
Well, there was something, Danielle, you just said something, growth starting. That was, that's right. Coming back to Stacey's question around sales and all that kind of jazz. The other thing too is, if it were me, if I could apply, which I now can't because I'm supporting the program, which I only thought of yesterday. I was like, oh, shit, $10,000 would do magic for me right now. Focus on how the 10K enables you to get somewhere faster, or how it helps you amplify your impact, how it helps you accelerate something. So for example, because I was thinking through this for myself. For me, what I would do with $10,000 is I would put it straight on Facebook ads, because I know my Facebook ads work. I know my funnel works. And what I know would happen is with $10,000 on Facebook ads, which would mean that my next program would be a $60,000 to $70,000 revenue generator for me, which then means I can stop hustling for, you know, short little bullshit, which means I can then go and create even more impact.
Yep.
So like,
That's
I would
kind of like me building my list is actually
correct.
Exactly.
So focus on the amplification. Focus on it's not the expense, it's what the spend enables you to do next. That without the spend, you're doing it $1 at a time. You're hustling for current revenue to then do this, to then do
Well,
this.
it gets like, I work at Just Jeans, so it's like I work my butt off earning $28 an hour to pay a marketing professional $55 an hour. It's like, well, if I could just, stop that sort of, or, sacrificing family holidays or stuff like that to just be able to do it in one go. I could get my weekends with my kids back. I could, be able to accelerate the business.
That's the story to tell.
Focus
That's
on
the
the
story.
amplification.
That's
Where
the
are
story.
you located, Danielle?
So I'm right now based in Kalgoorlie in Western Australia.
All right.
I did not know
In the
that.
middle of nowhere. I know. So I'm Brisbane born and bred, which is how I know most people here. But yeah, 18 months ago, relocated for the man's job. That's what love will do to you. It'll send you to the middle of nowhere.
That's why Christine didn't go for another round.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise, I'm done.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, we've been here for 18 months now and cannot wait to get back to a big city.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah.
It's hard.
Any final questions of me? I know that Danielle's got another Ask Me Anything call, whatnot. But any other questions around speaking, presenting to video and nailing that?
So, what is Cat like other than the mentor and the judge for this grant? Do you play?
I'm not a judge. I'm
You're
not a
not
judge.
a judge.
Nope.
Okay. You just mentor for like today's session. What other role you play in this program?
None.
None.
Lover and
Head
supporter.
cheerleader. Head
Yeah,
cheerleader.
cheerleader and advocate. No,
All
in,
right.
in all seriousness, and my quote to this effect is on the website. What people can do with small amounts of money never ceases to blow my mind. When I was Chief Digital Officer, I oversaw 3 rounds of budding entrepreneur grants and then another 3 rounds of global entrepreneur grants, and they were $5,000 grants. And people would say to me, $5,000 is nothing. Why would I bother? And I'd go, you've got no idea. Sky Anderton from Ruby Olive, she received a budding entrepreneur grant in the very first round and then received a global entrepreneur grant a few years later. She is now an international brand and she used those tiny cash injections to just jump to the next level, to build profile. She was then a Lord Mayor's Business Award winner as well. She literally just used those opportunities to jump the business. And she's now a global business. Clipchamp, who's another one. Clipchamp is a Brisbane-based, they do, it blows my mind actually when you think about it now. Clipchamp 10 years ago were developing online video editing software. They received, it was less than $5,000 actually, because the first rounds were, like $2,000 and whatnot. They received $2,000 from us. They leveraged that to get the next round of mentorship and business coaching. They exited 2 years ago to Microsoft for millions.
Yeah, I won the Lord Mayor Award as well.
Yeah, so you've been or you've entered?
I won.
Oh,
I
well
was
done.
I was the entrepreneur of the year.
Congratulations, Lindy. What year was that?
So good.
2013.
2013. Wow. See, yeah, we would have met if you were hanging around Lord Mayor at that time. When I
won
was around.
that award, and I also won the Telstra Women Business Awards, and also Telstra Business Awards. So anyhow, and now this is a new tech startup, and with my vision, the tech startup will actually public listed or exit by Amazon or by Alibaba.
See, small grants, big dreams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
I love how people have like their exit plans all ready to go. And I'm like, I'm not exiting. This is my blood, sweat and tears and passion. Like this is me till retirement. I might step back from running it, but I'm not stepping back from the message of it, which is, the getting people involved. There is no exit. My exit is if I have proven after 10 years that I can't get it off the ground, then maybe I'll go, fine.
Oh,
I
yeah.
admit defeat.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I've got to Zoom right now. Thank you so much. Sorry, Stacey. Look,
Okay.
lovely to meet you all. And I'm joining up definitely anyway, regardless. I think it's an amazing group. And I love that it's from Brisbane as well.
So good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for contributing today. You're amazing.
Oh,
We
you're
shall catch
Yeah,
up.
thank
We shall
you.
catch up, Christine.
absolutely, Lindy.
Yeah, come to my office.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm in Hobart these days.
All right. We call each other on the Zoom.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Yeah,
Heath.
yeah.
And best of luck, everyone. And Kat, fantastic. Thank you so much
You're
for
so
your-
welcome.
for your
You're so
help
welcome.
and support. It's just great.
Thanks, Christine.
And heaps. Ta.
On that note, we are at time. So I do appreciate that people might have meetings and things booked in, and Kat, you as well. So I just wanted to say thank you so much again, Kat. Your time today is so generous and it's been so valuable to everyone here that attended and could ask questions live, but also people watching the replay as well. So I really appreciate you.
No probs at all. I appreciate you for backing these kind of programs. I admire the gumption and the balls. So yeah, very happy to support it, and I cannot wait to see who shows up. Like I'm looking forward to just sitting and looking at all of the submissions.
So
I just want to say thank you, Daniel, thank you, Kat, for your initiative, for your generosity, and for your enabling this community to thrive. And that's something we really need, in the women's community.